Um, Alright. Where's my other camera? Oh, the camera's broken. Wait, is it this one? Alright. Not working. This is what happens when you go straight to live. Alright. You can still hear me. Can't see me. Oh, here we go. Fixed it. Alright, the magic. Okay. Lighting. Sweet. Look at my awesome thing. Or whatever. So yeah, we're just gonna open this package that I got from Card Kingdom. It's got some Magic the Gathering cards in it, and hopefully it will be sweet. So here we go. I actually like full size this camera, so I think there's actually less real estate on it, but who cares? Maybe I need a fancy overlay or something. I'm gonna crack. This is a big package, by the way. Like, can we get some perspective on this? Not showing my address to everyone. Quite large. I don't think there's that many cards in here. There's 10. Well, it was really cool. They actually 2-date it to me. Exciting. So I got it really quickly. Actually, should have had it yesterday, but I was not here to receive it. So I'm gonna crack it open now. All right, it is double packaged. Nice. Extra protection. All right, get that out of the way here. How do we open this? All right. Handy dandy knife. The legendary Gerber makes another appearance. This is the mini paraframe. This is the best knife I think I've ever owned in my life. That rhymes. I didn't mean to. But they make a black one too. I had the black one as well, but it's the tips. It's a Tonto blade. Not quite as cool. All right. Lots of packing peanuts in here. Look at all that peanuts. Ooh. Looks like a little bit of cheat. Did they just make it rain over here? Make it rain. Make it rain white Cheetos. Alright, there's a lot of packing peanuts. Alright, here's the actual cards. Alright. I asked for a token. I was hoping I would get a swan token. With my order information over here. But yeah, I was hoping for a swan token. I got really lucky last time. They obliged my order and they let me get a very sweet snake. I'm actually gonna grab this. Normally I don't leave my desk because I'm just too lazy to get up and grab it. You guys can also check out these sweet shorts. They're fantastic. So we got, where is this? This is one of the treasures of my collection. Where did I even put it? Do you think I put it like on the front page or something and be like, yes, this is the jewel of my collection. Here we go. I love this. That's from Card Kingdom. So every now and then, when you order and you request a token, they'll do it for you. I've ordered from like 4 or 5 times. I've gotten 1 token. It's pretty sweet. I was hoping, because this was a higher ticket order, maybe they would oblige me again. But Ophiomancer doesn't have a token, so had to have one. Alright, moving on. So we've got... I can already see the unhappy thing. It's like, oh, we can fulfill the order. There's a spoiler card on the back of this. I guess they did them all face down. I really like how they tape these shut, so you have to untape it and they can't fly open during transit. So we'll get both sides here, and they fold the back side of the tape. If you sell cards on any form, in any like TCG player, if you fold the end of the tape like this, you're a hero, because it makes it so much easier to pull off. People who do this and it's in a top loader, it's one of the most frustrating things. So yes, try not to do that. I also love the additional packing peanut to keep the cards from flapping up and down. So yes, unfortunately we were unable to fulfill your request this time. I appreciate it anyway, Card Kingdom. I did get this nifty cat over here. This is a cute one, really. I'm sure Maggie will love this. Alright, so let's pop them out. We already know there's a foil Grand Abolisher here. So, cool card. I'm probably gonna grab some Perfect Fits here too, to sleeve these as I go. I love me some Perfect Fits. I'm actually getting up twice during the stream. Miracles are happening. I'm assuming someone's gonna watch this back because I know nobody's watching right now. Oh wait, there's 2 people? Thank you, 2 people, for being watchers while I crack open these cards. Alright, so we're gonna get some Perfect Fits ready. We're gonna put our Happy Cat token over here. What a Happy Cat token. They left as soon as I acknowledged them. Feels bad, man. Alright, so, first card. Put the cat over here. Put the cat under me. This makes me look like a cat. Alright, perfect. So, first card we have a... Oh, so shiny it blurs out. It's foil Grand Abolisher. EDH deck. Flash Hulk. Get this guy and some other guys. Pretty card. We got that. We'll sleeve them up. This is we have not quite a speculation, but I guess it's a speculation. I needed a hapless researcher, and they had them, and they were really cheap. So I got 3 hapless researchers. We got 3 of them. Why did we get 3 of them? Because, you know, why not? I have friends who also play like the Flash Hulk combo, and they'll probably also want one, so maybe we could trade it to them. And XVG, alright, solid. Just checking the condition on these, so we'll sleeve these guys up. These guys go straight into my deck. It's such a good card. Like the old foiling, I don't care what anyone says. I think this is how it should have always been done. I like how the border is the foil of the star on it, as opposed to the focus being on the actual card being foiled out. And don't get me wrong, on some cards it looks extremely cool, but normally it's not the playables I've noticed, which is a little bit unfortunate. These are not near mint, and I can see there's a lot of clouding on these, but overall the condition of the card's pretty good, so I can't complain. I'll put one of these. We're gonna split them up, I guess, a little bit. We'll have one for the actual deck, and one for going into the binder. But yeah, I really love these foils. One of my weak spots is the Judge promo foils. Always enjoy the new cards. So like Noble Hierarch is one of the examples I like to give. The Noble Hierarch Judge promo, it is it's a newer card. It was printed in Conflux where the new frame existed, and hopefully get this back into focus here. But the card itself has the old style foiling, so I wish they would do more of those. Hopefully they do. Alright, what else do we have here? We have a foil Mental Misstep from New Phyrexia. It's also going in the commander deck. Let's leave that guy up right here. Shoop! I should actually be double sleeving these and or sleeving them, single sleeving, I suppose. I started using the Perfect Fit Hards, and it makes your deck like doubly thick. But for the higher value cards and higher value decks, I like the additional protection on it. We have the WPTQ or whatever they call them back then, Abrupt Decay. Kind of dig this art. Looks like a goblin's getting wrecked. And, I'm very fond of goblins, so seems like a really cool card to have. Looks pretty good. Alright, let's leave that guy up. Alright, what do we have next? We have it's a Judge promo Mana Crypt. Why did I get this instead of any other Mana Crypt? So TJ bought the last Judge promo Mana Crypt from Sunshine Games, and I really wanted it. I really wanted the Invention one, but it's kind of hard to justify at like $400 now. So I went ahead and I got one of the same ones, so we could be twinsies when we're both playing our Mana Crypts. One of the things that's really interesting about this card is that normally when they put the Shooting Star on the Judge promos, they put one in the text box and they put one where the set expansion would be. But for whatever reason, they said, let's put it in the text box, in the expansion symbol, and let's put another one that says DCI on the card. And I'm not super fond of the fact that they did that, but, you know, whatever. We got a foil OG Zendi, or World Wake, whatever it is, Nature's Claim. It's been too long since I played these sets, and I always thought the set symbols looked too similar. A little bit of bling. Maybe we could set this up where we get a little more variation, so we have the left and the right. Alright, there we go. Perfect. We have an Alliance's Force of Will. I've been looking for the Judge promo for this one. I haven't been too successful in finding it. This one is a little Battlethorn. That's fine. Looks pretty good overall. It's been a while since I've had one of these. I used to play Type 1.5 on Old School Legacy. I used to play World Gorger Reanimator, and when they had banned it, I said, "Oh, I'm done playing 1.5." They banned World Gorger Dragon of all the cards, which is looking back, it's like, why would you ban World Gorger Dragon? That card's awful. But you used to be able to make infinite mana. It was really consistent. So I did have a playset of those in most duels, but now I don't. Got a Visions Vampiric Tutor. I'm kind of waiting on the new Judge promo. I really like the art on that one a lot, but it is obviously not printed yet, or not in the hands of anyone. So we just went ahead and got the OG Visions one for now. The new or the old Judge promo I think this is the first time a Judge promo has been reprinted, if I'm not mistaken, the Vampiric Tutor. The first one, interestingly enough, has gone up a lot, and I could have gotten that one. It might have been nice, but it's okay. And then we do have one of my favorites. So we have the Judge promo Noble Hierarch. So you can see what I'm talking about. It's got the old school border on it, despite being a new card. This one, it's a little bit of a foil curve on it. Let's see if we can kind of capture it there. Not too bad. And this is again why I like the Perfect Fit Hards. It tends to even out and make the actual card flat. Like, it will actually flatten it out over time very slowly, and it's not as noticeable in your deck. On my humans deck, I play in modern. Some of my cards that are foil are started to curl. Like not my noble hierarchs, my champion of the parish and my ancient ziggurats. They were really starting to get noticeable, and it was getting bothersome to me because a lot of times I would see the top card of my deck and it would have, you know, a very slight curl, and it wouldn't lay all the way flat, and I would just know, and I'd be like, there's definitely like a champion of parish or ancient ziggurat on top of my deck. And when I got to that point, I was like, I don't feel comfortable playing with those cards. So I got the Perfect Fit Hards, and it has alleviated that issue, so I do highly recommend those. And wow, this card is just so pretty. And I think the foiling on this one is actually different than your traditional old school foil. And I never really looked too close at it to notice, but let's look at Hapless Researcher over here. So Hapless Researcher, the actual picture itself, and we'll see if we capture it here. The picture itself is not foil, it's just the border, and you get the shooting star on it. On Noble Hierarch, look at this one, the art itself is actually foiled. So it's kind of like a new school foil. So it doesn't completely capture the essence of it, but it does a really great job. And this might be the happy medium too, because there are parts of the card that are not foil in the art, but there are parts that are as well. So it's a nice mix, and that's probably one of my favorite cards that I got here. We also have a couple of dually lands. So we have a Bayou and we have a Tundra, and these are in really good condition in my opinion. Let's see if we get back in focus here. There we go. These are actually in really good condition. I'm very pleased with it. These are graded, let's see, and I don't know if you guys have ordered from Card Kingdom before, but normally when I see cards ordered, it goes near mint, heavily played, well, it doesn't go in that order. It would be like near mint, slightly played, moderately played, heavily played. And Card Kingdom, they do it a little bit different. I guess this might be like more akin to the old school ways of doing it. They have near mint, right? So obviously like really good condition. They have near mint. They have EX, which is considered played. They also have VG, which is considered played. And then they have G, which is, I guess, more played than played, but not damaged. Both of these cards are graded G for, I guess, good. And overall, I'll pull it out of the sleeve here. Overall, there's this one is interesting, really, though. The bio is really interesting, and we can kind of catch it here on camera. It's like there's lots of little scratches in it. And you kind of see all those. There's lots of little scratches, but inside of the Perfect Fit, it looks incredibly good. There's a little bit of wearing on the sides here, and it doesn't really show up because it might be a little bit too bright here. There's a little bit of marks on the sides, but very small marks. And on the back, again, interesting, same thing, a little bit of border wear. I mean, the card this old, it's fine. And the same thing on the back, more scratching. So it's interesting that it's not in like super beat condition. I'm actually really happy about this Bayou. Really excited. Alright, so we'll sleeve that one up here. And we also have a Tundra. So the Tundra, this one looks really great too. And this is why I love ordering from Card Kingdom. There's really no guesswork. A lot of times when I order from TCG Player or eBay and someone says near mint, slightly played, whatever, it's not really the condition that they state it to be. So I love that I could order from Card Kingdom. I really don't have to second guess. I've never had to send anything back or debate the condition on something. This Tundra, same thing, really beautiful. The corner, I could see it's again, I'm moving off camera here, but the corner over here, it's a little bit nicked. It's not split, but you can tell it's been nicked over there. The surface on the front, let's see if we get this on the light too. Really good, really good. No scratches or anything like that. Almost no fading on this one, or marks. A little bit on the right side. Just amazingly good looking on the front. Alright, and on the back really good again. Again, some little marks over here on the side. That's expected. The nice thing is they're on the back too. They're not on the front. It doesn't really show on a sleeve. Really good condition in terms of the surface. A little mark over there. And always, if you're really, what's the word I'm looking for? Being scrupulous? Is that the word? I don't know. I'm probably using the wrong word. But if you're really anal about the condition of the cards, I always recommend taking the flashlight to it and kind of using it as a beam to capture any small imperfections on it. But I am really, really excited about the condition of this Bayou and this Tundra over here. And I also had promised that I would do some comparison to proxies compared to the real ones that I have over here. So I have a Bayou and a Tundra. I'm actually getting up, I think, for the 4th time right now. This is getting kind of strenuous. We're gonna grab some fake ones, see how those compare for the Tundra and the Bayou. And interestingly enough, I like to keep tabs on all the cards that are being printed. I like to keep track of the counterfeit cards because, again, do I ever think that a counterfeit card will be so close that it will get PSA graded as a 10 or whatever? I think it will happen eventually. I think it's easy enough to reproduce a card that was printed in 1990 whatever in the card stock and whatnot. I've seen recently that I think it was Beckett actually, instead of PSA, had graded was it a Mishra's Factory or Mishra? Yeah, I think it was a Mishra's Factory. I think it was a summer and they said it was spring or vice versa. And again, that's their job. It's their job to look over the card and know what the cards are. Obviously, they're not doing a very good job of that if they're not being graded correctly and the right card name is not being used. But what you gonna do? So we will find, let's see, a Tundra and a Bayou. All right. There's a Tundra. There's a Bayou. All right. Again, this is on stream. This is not in your hand. Very hard to compare. But we'll just put them right here next to each other. Maybe I could probably zoom this out, but we'll just do one at a time here, right? So we have fake Tundra and a real Tundra. From here, it just looks like 2 Tundras, right? This one, you get very, very subtle coloration differences. This one looks a little more blue. This one looks a little more yellow. There's going to be variances between these cards anyway, between the years, depending on the condition of it, if they were exposed to sunlight. If I do a closer examination of the two, I'll try and get it on camera over here a little bit closer. There's definite differences on it. Like the text on this one, you could see kind of from this angle, it's a lot lighter. The text box and the shadowing for it, it's much lighter. There's not as much of a drop shadow on the fake one over here as there is the real one. We'll take a look at the backs of the cards too. Not awful. This one looks a lot darker, and I noticed a lot of the other ones look a lot darker than this one. But again, most people aren't seeing those in sleeves. That's the big thing that's standing out to me. The drop shadows. There's a lot heavier of a drop shadow on the Tundra, the real Tundra, than the fake Tundra. It's a little more blue in terms of the picture. The actual box itself, I guess, that should be a little bit more blue too. So this one, the fake needs a little more blue on it. The drop shadow needs to be a little bit longer, or the distance on it, should I say, should be higher. If we're talking Photoshop speak. And the borders are a little bit thin. The borders need to be thicker on the proxy or the counterfeit one. The image resolution, it's not quite as good as on the real Tundra. It's just a little bit too low. And one of the cool things is if you put them side by side, it almost looks like, panoramic view. Not something I had noticed before. But yeah, really cool. And I could go over all of them too. I have the other ones sitting in my binder right now. So fake Tundra, real Tundra. We're going to put the real Tundra in the binder with our other duels. We'll look at the Bayous too. So we'll look at the Bayou. We'll look at all the other duels. We'll just pull them all out. One of mine is signed, so it's going to, obviously have a signature on it. Alright, Alright, so the BIOS. I'm not even gonna look at the bottom. I already know that this is the... Oh wait, is it? No, this isn't. This is just a very bent fake Bayou. At first I was like, yeah, it's the bent one. It's obviously the bent one. But no, that the fake Bayou is ironically the one that is bent already. Alright. Let me make sure I got the right ones here. Alright. Real Tundra, fake Tundra. Again, and at a glance, like when I stare at it, it takes me a second. I have to like look at it and be like, oh, this is not a real Tundra. We need to get this out of here. So BIOS. Let's see BIOS here. Again, on the stream from here, my crappy quality and lighting. I'm just looking at the screen instead of looking at the cards themselves. The real BIOS looks a little bit darker. Again, they have the same issue with the border. The borders just need to be thicker on these. Not a whole bunch, but you can see there's a difference in the size of it, and it's consistent with all the fakes and the proxies that it's just not large enough. It needs to be larger. Looking a little bit closer, let's see. This one, the signature on it, much closer. It doesn't have the same issue with the drop shadow. The text box is very close. It looks like the mana symbols, they're off. The mana symbols, they don't line up the same way within the actual circles for it. And in addition to that, they need to be a little bit higher on the card on the fake. You can see the green saturation is a little bit too high. It should be darker. And as for the image resolution, it's not terrible. It's a lot better than I just saw in the Tundra. It looks like the font of the Bayou might be a little bit, just a hair too thick. Just a hair too bold for what it should be. And other than that, let's see. Other than that, it's really not too shabby. It's not bad at all. I look at the backs on these anyway. The back's never really too compelling. This one's a little bit closer. Needs maybe just a little bit more red hue. And you can tell here up by the set symbol as well, it's a little more red hued than this. But overall, not bad at all. Much better than the Tundra. Alright, so that's our Bayou. So I should start a pile over here. Fake Bayou, real Bayou. Alright, should we get to the meat and potatoes? Do we go straight to the underground sea? I guess we'll do that. We'll save that for last. We already did Tundra. We already did Bayou. I don't have any of the red dual lands. You might ask why. I don't play any decks that need the red dual lands. I might pick them up eventually, just so I can have like a commander's playset. But I haven't had the urge for it. If anything, I'm probably gonna start with the volcanic island because that's the most expensive, the most in demand one, as opposed to bad lands. I guess a free animator becomes a thing. If it becomes a thing, it might be an issue. So we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at those. So we'll start. We have Scrubland. So I'll put one Scrubland out here. My favorite land because I am a scrub. Alright, so we got Scrubland and Scrubland. Scrubland, immediately evident to me, the same issue. Just the saturation on these is a little bit off. Like this one, you can see it is exceptionally yellowy. This is just too yellow. I don't know why the yellow's dialed up so much. Alright, let's take a closer look here. The text box on it for the signature and the actual card itself, a little bit too dark. It needs to be a little bit lighter. The mana symbols are pretty convincing, but they're not quite what they're supposed to be. And I'm trying to kind of capture this here. But the mana symbols, I'm going to bring it closer to my face here so I can take a look. They just don't seem to match up. I think they use the new school skull as opposed to the old school skull. I think there's a little bit of a subtle difference in it. And from here you really can't see it. I don't think it matters how close I bring it to this camera. Well, maybe. But you can see the skulls are different. These are different looking skulls. The plane symbol, they're different looking plane symbols. That really jumps out to me in terms of the text box itself. The text itself is just a hair too bold on the fake one. Just a little bit. And I'm trying to see if it's lined up correctly. The text is almost lined up right. Some of the lines are too low. Like where it says plains, counts as both plains and swamp. It looks a little bit too high on the fake card. Yeah. Oh no, pardon me. It's too low on the fake card. It needs to be higher on the fake card where it is. In the picture, the resolution on it, not really good at all. It's actually very poor in my opinion, very blurry. Not what it's supposed to look like. Back on it, again, a little bit not as red as it should be. So we're seeing a lot of the similarities, and it's funny how each one is completely different and bad in its own way. So move on to the next one. Next one's gonna be Tropical Island. So you got Tropical Island here. And where's the real Tropical Island? Oh, fake Tropical Island, sorry. Alright. Tropical Island. We'll take a look at these. Again, it's the saturation on this. You see this one is just, it's too, I don't know if it's too green or if it's too blue, but the text box is just awful. Like, you guys can see it from here. Why is it that the green is so vibrant here and over here it just kind of mixes in? It is just not even close on that one. It's really surprising how bad the Tropical Island is. And we'll take a closer look here and see what else we got going on here. The text itself is a little bit too bold. Too bold or too big, maybe both. The font size is a little bit too big and it's a little too bold. The image resolution on it is blurry, especially you notice it around the tree area. They're not defined well. The font, again, same thing. The font's a little too big for the text box, and it is a little too low where it says land. And again, these are very minute differences, but the main thing here is the pattern for the dual land, the way that it kind of splits like that. It is so absurdly, ridiculously off. And again, the same thing that all the cards have. The borders need to be a little bit thicker, just a hint. Not significantly, but it needs to be bigger. The back of the cards, for this one, it's not as bad. Again, same thing. Needs a little more red hue on it. That's our Tropical Island. All right. I'm really impressed on the condition of my Tropical Island too. Always exciting to get sweet condition dual lands. Obviously, they're getting rarer and rarer and becoming more and more of a commodity. This one is very exceptional. All right, moving on. Right, now I always have to double check these. Can never be too safe. All right, moving on. Tropical Islands out of the way. Next one, Savannah. Savannah. All right, so we got our Savannah here, and here's the fake Savannah. Here's a fake Savannah. This is another one. It just jumps out at you, even with my poor contrast camera, low resolution garbage. It's too yellow, way too yellow. Not even close here. Not even close at all. It's almost green, honestly. It's so yellow. But the picture, it's not even remotely close. This one is the worst one I think I've seen so far. It really, I mean, it resembles the card, yes, but the color's not good, the picture's not good. The resolution on the picture is too dark. It's too dark more than the resolution. The resolution might not actually be as bad, but the darkness on it makes it look awful. Mana symbols actually look kind of okay on this one. A little bit too large. It needs to be just ever so slightly smaller. It's really for whatever reason why the color is off makes it stand out so badly, and I would not recommend this one. If you're looking for a proxy Savannah, I believe this is a Black Lotus one. Would highly not recommend this because it is just not good at all. And the font, or not the font, but the signature and the copyright on the bottom, it just looks completely off to me. And again, I think it just has to do with the color of the card, but this one is not passable in my opinion. Very not good. Alright, I think that leaves us. Is Underground Sea the last one left? Yeah. Underground Sea, so mine's signed. I keep it double sleeved here for whatever reason. Come on, focus. 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 Okay. There we go. Alright. Underground Sea. And this is the, the most frequently went after one. This is the one that should be the closest because it is the highest value of the dual lands. This one, I'm actually probably going to be trading and swapping out for another one because this one, purchased it heavily played. But it looks a little bit damaged to me. There's a crease in it. But we're getting that sorted out, which is great. So these, side by side, the text really looks a little bit too bright. Again, this could be an aging thing too. I think if this card was near mint, or like a gem mint Tundra or whatever, it would look a little bit closer. But first inspection, image, actually really good resolution. Really good resolution on the proxy. Very surprised by the resolution. The color on it, very close as well. I think it might be just a hint, just a little bit too red in the saturation of it, but nothing too crazy. The font for the Underground Sea, same issue. It's just a hair too bold. A hair too bold for what it needs to be. And it's too bright in my opinion. I think it needs to be darkened down just a couple of shades to match a little bit better. Again, I'm sure if you wore this, it would look a little bit better. The mana symbol, it looks like they used the new water one, the new island one. The old one, it doesn't have quite as big of the white dot to kind of show the shading on the water drop like the new islands have. It's much lesser, and the same thing goes with the skull for the swamp. The shapes on them are actually different than the new ones, and it looks like they use the new ones on this. So other than that, again, it's a little too red up here for the proxy. It's a little too blue down here. The blue's a little bit too strong. It should be more like a light gray almost, but not bad. Not bad. The back, a little bit closer. Like this one, they went a little bit darker on the red, so this is actually much closer. This one might be a little bit too red, so they need to find a happy middle ground between those. But Underground Sea is probably one of the better ones that we've looked at here. Yeah, but I think that brings us to all of ours. So again, we have the real cards up top, and then we have the fake ones. I don't even know if these are in order anymore. We've got, let's see, we have our Savannah, Tropical Island, Bayou, Tundra, Scrubland, Underground Sea. So, yeah, and if you're playing these in a tournament, a commander deck, again, it's kind of hard to get them all in the same picture here. Are they really close? Yeah, they're pretty close. Are they perfect? By no stretch of the imagination are they perfect. Again, they're not quite there, but do I think that they'll get there? At this rate, I think they're going to be very close. They're going to be very close to replicating a dual land that you won't be able to tell under a jeweler's loop. You won't be able to tell handling the card unless you very carefully, closely, and take your time to expect it. And I know that people are playing these in Legacy tournaments somewhere, because when you're playing a game of Magic competitively, most of your focus is on the game. It'd have to be like a very stalled game state, or like a judge call to stop and be like, that, like the thing that looks ever so off on your tropical island is possibly a fake. And I think another issue is that it might end up being kind of the new judge call for like missed triggers or whatever. I know we saw not Yaming Chun, but whatever there was a recent Pro Tour, Wyatt Darby, I think is his name, was playing Ramanat Red or non-Ramanat Red, whatever. Goes to combat and swings with like Carries Up and a bunch of stuff, and like he kind of like puts everything out and like announces triggers. And I guess his opponent was trying to be like, oh, we forgot the monkey for Carries Up for exact lethal. It's going to be one of those situations where like you've already lost the game and you really want to win the game, so you just look for every out, and you're like, oh, this dual land looks a little bit off. I think he's playing with big cards. I want to deck check. And again, I don't even know if deck checks happen. Like, if you call a judge, I don't know if a deck check happens because you suspect fake cards or how that's actually handled. Because I know it's different for every kind of format. I think Star City Games and whatnot has different rules for it. I might be completely wrong about that, but I'm not sure what the process is on it. I'm not sure if they could just willy-nilly be like, I lost, I want a deck check to see if the cards are authentic. I have heard for like the very high-end Legacy and Vintage tournaments that for the top 8, the decks are checked in order to verify that all the cards in the deck are, real cards. And they're carefully inspected. They use jeweler's loops and check every card, pull them out of the sleeve. which I'm assuming is, an arduous task, and not even necessarily a task that all judges are suited for. You probably need some specialists in order to do that. I'm probably going to be ordering some more proxy cards because Website Guys has put out a new batch, and in the new batch, this guy's actually in there. Noble Hierarch is now a proxy or a counterfeit, and again, they all look really promising in the pictures. If they're anywhere near as good as the expeditions, and there's a new set of expeditions for fetches as well. If it's anywhere near as good as that, I think it's going to be very passable, very close. And honestly, what I do with a lot of them is, even though I own the card, I don't want to damage this card. This is I don't even think this is considered not near mint because it's bent. Even though the condition on it is pretty near mint, and I appreciate that they're very anal about how they grade their foils. But I would rather just play the fake one in my deck and leave this in my binder. If anyone asks me, now I tell people when I'm playing anyway, I have my proxies in my deck, I have my real duels in my binder, I have my real cards in my binder. If you want to see them, that's fine. If you want me to swap them out and de-sleeve them so I can play them, that's fine. But I try and preserve the condition of the cards. When you get to the point where, this is like $200, an Underground Sea is, $500, $600, and even if it's friendly commander, like if you're shuffling the deck, I can only tell you how many times someone's sleeved up a deck with new sleeves and I knock the whole thing over. Imagine like dinging your slightly played Underground Sea. You just took like $100 loss because you decided to sleeve up the real card, and I think that's the issue where these Eternal formats are going, and that's why there's a need for reprints, or if not a reprint, some kind of redemption program. And I kind of said this trollingly a while ago, where I think it would be great if you have a beat up Underground Sea, you could send it to Wizards of the Coast, and they will, I don't know what they're going to do with them. Maybe they could put them in a tournament, where you could play for tournaments for Underground Seas or a set of dual lands or whatever. Whatever it may be, but you could redeem it for a new version of it. So maybe they'll use like the Vintage Masters art that they have used previously online. Kind of like what we saw with Mox Diamond. If they would go ahead and just do that, and it increases the flow of the cards that are available. Wizards is free to reproduce it as they want. But again, everyone's going to get into this reserve list argument. I don't think it's a surefire thing. I think investing in this stuff is kind of garbage. And even when I bought this stuff, I was like, it's really stupid for me to spend this much on Underground Sea. I think we're towards the ceiling. The ceiling for, I think, most non-power cards is going to be $1,000 to $1,200. Once they start going over that point, I don't think they're going to move quite as much. I think people are going to hoard them if they already have a lot of them. And I think we're starting to see that with Time Twister now. Time Twister is one of those cards where people considered it, it's power. It's power 9. It was only printed up until Unlimited. There's no revised copies of it. But Time Twister is not power in the same sense of you go to a vintage tournament and, everyone's playing 3 Black Lotus. Everyone's playing, Mox Sapphire and Jet, whatever. It doesn't see the same play. It's not as strong. It's not a staple in every vintage deck. But I think Commander is one of the cards that's kind of holding that card price up. And the fact that it's still considered power 9. I honestly, in my opinion, Soul Ring is a stronger card in terms of Magic the Gathering, but I don't foresee that being retitled since it comes in absolutely every Commander deck that's ever been printed. Mana Crypt might as well be more power at this point, but that's kind of besides the point. That's my take on the subject, and I'll probably do another video here, and we're going to get those new proxies that have been printed recently. I have a credit from Website Guys, so I'll probably order them. I think it's like $50 a set, so I'll probably be paying like $25 for them with the coupon I have from a previous purchase, and doing a review for them. And again, if you have any questions about authenticity of cards, proxies, any Magic General stuff, I'm obviously not a pro player or anything like that. Feel free to get in contact with me, and I'll try and make a video about it. I also try and put these up on YouTube, and normally they're available for demand. So I definitely appreciate you guys tuning in, all one of you, whoever else watches this, the replay of this. And I hope you have a great day. Later.